Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya.
Rama 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 Bhagwan Shri Yogi Ramsuratkumar ki jai. Sarvam Yogi Ramsuratkumar Padamsi. We shall offer our grateful pranams at the lotus feet of Bhagwan for this great opportunity given to us once again. We shall see the experience of a couple who stayed in Tiruvannamalai right from the early 70s. That is the couple, Shri Venkataraman, his wife Vijayalakshmi. The first time in 1974, when Shri Venkataraman ran into our Bhagwan Yogi Ramsuratkumar at the entrance of the Arunachaleshwara temple, Bhagwan was all smiles. He said immediately, "Oh, you are my friend, Venkatarama." It was an instant recognition of his soul, well known to him, even though he had not seen him before, physically. After that, Bhagwan himself gave instructions to Shri Venkataraman, who was a teacher at the time in a school, local school, to come to Bhagwan as often as he could. What an invitation, especially for people like me, who had found it increasingly difficult to have his darshan in the later years. So many times I had to return without so much as a glimpse of him at a distance. And here, Shri Venkataraman had the golden opportunity of Bhagwan inviting him to be with him as often as he could. The couple, they prayed for a child, and in 1978, Vijayalakshmi conceived. She was very happy, but then in 3 months it got aborted. You can imagine the misery, the abject misery that she had to go through. It was veritable hell for her. But because of Bhagwan's nearness, she was able to manage to come out of it. In 1980, she conceived again. This time, they were very cautious. She went to Isabella Hospital in Chennai, and she was kept under observation. The tests were all taken. After that, she got shifted to the BHS, the health service quarters, because Venkataraman's brother was working in a high post there. She was staying only there throughout. So Venkataraman stayed with Bhagwan all the time. Bhagwan would send him to Vijayalakshmi only once a month, and that he would give a chocolate for Vijayalakshmi. Say, Venkatarama, you give this to her as this beggar's prasad. So every month he would go there only to give chocolate, one chocolate from Bhagwan, which would make her very happy because it was prasad from Bhagwan, which meant Bhagwan was taking care of her very well. In the meantime, till 77, Bhagwan was wandering outside. In 77, he shifted to the Thanadi Street house permanently. Even then, in 78, many times Bhagwan would spend the night also at Teredi Mandap, the chariot Mandap, sometimes outside the vessel shops, and sometimes at the house. I believe when they had to sleep outside the vessel shops on the planks, it would be very cold sometimes. And Venkataraman would complain, Swami, I am feeling very cold. Bhagwan would say immediately, Anda Madri, oh like that. It will be all right, Venkatarama. And of course, the cold would continue, but he would fall asleep. So this was happening quite a few times. And then the 10th month, sometimes they would sleep at the house. There is one touching scene. When they slept at the Sannadi Street house, Bhagwan would be very worried if Venkataraman was comfortable sleeping there. You know what he would do? He would bring a stack of newspapers and tell Venkatarama, Venkatarama, there is no pillow here, but you can keep these papers under your head. And then he would bring more papers and say, Venkatarama, is this height okay for you? Are you feeling all right? And he would sit by the side of Venkatarama, like a mother would by the side of her child. Such care, such concern, such compassion. He would go to any length to keep him happy. What fortune. And he would get coffee, he would ask Perumal. Perumal was the one. Shivanananda Perumal was the one who was with Swami at that time. And sometimes Bhagwan would send Perumal to get some tea from All India Coffee Bar. Sometimes Venkataraman himself would go there. Sometimes they would get only a cup of water from the mud pot. One could never know or say when Bhagwan would give them tea or pot water. Month arrived. Bhagwan sent the 10th chocolate through the husband to the wife. When she was admitted for the delivery, the doctor said that she was very non-cooperative and they had to do only operation on her, cesarean operation. And because she was non-cooperative, they wanted signature from the husband. For Venkataraman, who was with Bhagwan all the time, A situation arose like this. The doctors demanded a signature from the husband. And Vijayalakshmi, when she entered the operation theatre, she was screaming out of labor pains and also out of fear. And suddenly, she saw Bhagwan entering the operation theatre. And Bhagwan, she could hear his voice, Bhagwan's voice, distinctly. Vijayalakshmi, keep quiet. This beggar is here, this beggar is working. What a fortune again, a fortune of grace. And she went to sleep. After that, she fell, whether she fell unconscious or she went to sleep, she couldn't say, but she felt no more the pain. And the child was taken out, it was a male child, and Bhagwan had already chosen a name. He took B.I. from Vijayalakshmi and V.E. from Venkataraman's name and K from the name of their village, native village near Chidambaram. So it became Vivek. After 3 months, 90 days, Bhagwan allowed them to bring the child to him. Always Bhagwan would say, please mark it, the young mothers, that the child, the newborn child, should not be brought out before 6 months. This is what he said, but sometimes, in some cases, he would relent. The child could be brought after 3 months, but never before 3 months. It should not be exposed to outside, and because there will be many negative forces that could easily attack a child. So Bhagwan always said, never bring a newborn child before 6 months if possible, otherwise at least after 3 months. So when they took the child, both husband and wife and the child came to Sannadhi Street house, Shri Jesudas was seated there. They left the child in front of Bhagwan and were seated. And Bhagwan asked Shri Jesudas to sing a song. He sang from the book of, in those days, Shri T.P. Meenakshi Sundaram would send some songs composed on Bhagwan. One of them was Shiva Shiva Ena Vodum Devana. So Shri Jesudas took the song from Bhagwan and sang that. And then Bhagwan asked him to sing a song from Narayaniyam. Then again he sang one song on Shri Rama, Ramani Namam. Now all through these songs, the child, right from the time it came, it was moving its limbs. Stopped moving them, it lay still and listened to all the songs spellbound, or so it seemed. And afterwards, Bhagwan gave them a banana and said to Sai Baba, Bhagwan's dog. Bhagwan never liked it to be called a dog. He would say, it is not D-O-G, it is G-O-D. So we shall call it Sai Baba God. He is Sai Baba. Sai means Sahai, the helper. So Bhagwan said, it is 10 o'clock in the night. Sai Baba, take these three to their house. As soon as Bhagwan said that, Sai Baba went out and waited, and then he followed these three people faithfully. And Venkataraman, it was not the only time, even previously Bhagwan would off and on send Venkataraman with Sai Baba. It was a habit with Sai Baba. It became a habit to leave Venkatarama in his house. And Venkataraman, for his part, would buy a biscuit packet on the way, hand it over to Sai Baba. So when Sai Baba accompanied these three people at 10 o'clock in the night, Bhagwan came out to the door and waved to them until they disappeared out of his sight. Such was his care, compassion, the love and grace he poured on faithful devotees. Now this reminds me of another scene which we have already gone through. I think in one of my talks I had already said it, but it will do us good to remember once again, especially for pregnant people. Shri Ganeshan of Ramanashram once took a Parsi couple, Behroz Padamsi and Behroz Padamsi. The first time he took them, they were not impressed by Bhagwan's appearance nor by his smoking. Especially Behroz thought, what kind of Mahatma he is? He's smoking and smoking all the time. So she refused to be impressed by him. But then soon after, she suddenly remembered that they had not taken anything, they had not bought anything, because always when you go see a child or an old man or a Mahatma, you should take something to give them. This is the tradition of the scriptures. So she remembered they had not taken anything, so she took permission from Swami and went with the driver, and she found herself buying a huge packet of cigarettes. To her own surprise, she found herself buying that. When she brought it and put it before Bhagwan, Bhagwan gave her a knowing smile. And that is when it flashed. My God, I was all criticism about his smoking, but see what I have done. There were so many things, fruits and other things that he could have easily bought. Why would I go and buy this? And then she understood the greatness of Bhagwan. After that, of course, they became devoted to him. And then she said, Swami, I have an anguish. You see, we have 2 daughters, but my mother-in-law keeps on asking me when I would give her a male child. I cannot do it because the doctors have said conceiving again would be a threat to my life. I'm so scared, Swami. At the same time, I feel very bad that I cannot do it. Then Swami looked at her straight, raised both his hands in benediction and pronounced, you will have a male baby. You will have a son born to you. Do not worry. My father says you will have a son. She was very, very happy. And soon after that they returned to United States, where they have a lucrative job, a lucrative business. And of course, she conceived. But to her horror, it aborted. After 3 months, she felt terrible. Not only because she lost a child, because all those doctors who have been looking after her were scolding her so badly. They were rebuking her. Why would you do this? It's madness to conceive. It's a threat to your life. It's a danger. She could not answer them, especially when it aborted. And then immediately she rushed and phoned up to Ganeshana of Ramana Ashram. See what Swami has done. He promised a male child to me, and I conceived, much against the wish of the doctors who look after me. But this is what happened finally. I feel terrible. I'm agonized. Please go tell Swami. So Ganeshana went to Bhagwan. He was afraid to say it to him, but he managed. Bhagwan said, Ganesha, you please tell her, Behroz, my father says she will have a male baby. She will have a son born to her. My father says, Ganesha, ask her to conceive again. So Ganesha returned to phone up to her. When she learnt it, now this time she was not very happy, but very doubtful, but all the same, she thought this time it would be different. She conceived, and the same story repeated itself. The doctors, to the resentment of the doctors, to the dismay of the doctors, she conceived again, and then true to their verdict, it became a threat to her life, and it aborted. And you can imagine what hell she was going through, one hell after the other. Again she rang up. She said, look, I believed what Swami said. Against all challenges, I conceived, and see the mess I have made of my life. Now everybody is pouncing upon me. Please go tell Swami. Now this time, Shri Ganesan was really scared. He was very scared. He did not know how to convey it to Bhagwan. Somehow, with great hesitation, he managed to tell him, Swami, this is what Behroz said. It aborted again. Now this time, Bhagwan's face became red with anger. He shouted almost, Ganesha, go tell her my father says she will have a son born to her. My father says, Ganesha, ask her to conceive. Now this time, Shri Ganesan was afraid to tell her, to talk to her. Poor Ganeshana, he had not much choice left. He had to go talk to Behroz. And Behroz, you can imagine her reaction. She kept quiet, didn't say anything, and rang off. For 1 year, he did not hear from her at all. And then one day, the bell rang. The telephone bell. And immediately he took it. Who do you think was at the other side? A very happy Mrs. Behroz Padamsi, announcing to him with great excitement, look, what Swami said came true. I have a male child, very healthy one, And I am healthy too, much against the prediction of the doctors. The doctors are all astounded, confused. I'm so happy and grateful to Swami. Please tell him. So you see, this is for pregnant mothers. Do not be put off by these negativities. We do not know the wish of God. Don't get easily depressed. Always give yourself a chance with faith in God, with faith in Bhagwan. Keep chanting His name. No matter what happens, if something will not suit you, will turn out to be a suffering than a bundle of joy, Bhagwan would remove it. So this kind of negativity can happen. It is once again a blessing from Bhagwan. Do not take it as negative. You will get another chance, a pure grace from Bhagwan, what you think is pure grace from Bhagwan, and it's bound to work. Now this Bhagwan is here, right in front of us, who kept on saying, my Father says, all we have to do is remember His words and practice whatever His Father says. Not doubt it. Doubting will only land us in further suffering. Only His words will come true. He is the doctor of doctors. So we shall appeal to Him today. Bhagwan, the great doctor of doctors, we could only appeal to you to change the situation today. Kindly intervene and free the entire world from this terrible situation and bring back normalcy everywhere in the world. And Bhagwan, only you can uproot, only you can root out the fear, the panic, and also the pandemic. And Bhagwan, please stop the spread of the disease. Now they are talking about other strains, other variants of this coronavirus with different symptoms and all that. Let them say anything. We have faith in you, and that would never betray us, that would never fail us. We would go on praying and praying and praying, no matter what, knowing that very soon, when you think is the right time, you would definitely step in and do the needful. Till then, we would keep on appealing to you, Bhagwan.